Good morning, traders, and welcome to the Bookmap live trading webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and we do this live analysis every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, 10 a.m. We're going to go look at the live markets and give forward-looking insight to where price might be going next. Friday, 10 a.m. The idea here is this is part of the Bookmap education, advanced education that you get. It's free for now. And pretty robust education in our opinion. We offer an educational a course. It's online. You have access to it. It will go over how to read order flow and from the very basics and market mechanics and understanding that, and then moving on up into structure and strategies and confluences, etc. Then we have live trading. We have live analysis that goes through that same course content, in the live market, and we will read the live market and give insight to where we think price will move next. Then we have live trading with Jay Trader, a stocks trader, on Wednesday at 10 a.m. and Scott Pulcini, a futures trader, trading live. So it really covers all the bases here. We also have Tom B. That is in our Discord room. And he is going through live forward-looking analysis as well. So we have lots of different avenues here for education, and this is all free. So that's pretty nice offering. Let's go through the risk disclosures, and then we're going to jump right into this live market. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in. Let's take a look. Here we're looking at the S&P E-mini. We can also look at stocks and crypto. Just let me know what you want to take a look at. Most people are pretty happy with the S&P. If the S&P becomes unbearable, it's not moving, we'll jump over to something that is, like NASDAQ or crude oil or something like that. All right, so let's take a look here. What's going on in the current market? Well, you can see 930 cash open, the move to the downside, right back up, retest where it opened, a little bit above it, and you can see the bears are coming in. The bears are in control. All right, so where do we think it's going to go? Well, we're looking at high liquidity here on the higher time frame. It's already traded into liquidity at this level at 42.15. You can see the big transactions there. The next levels of liquidity, well, they're down here at 4,200. The figure, and you can see it lined up in here as well, not just 4,200, above it here in a few different areas. 05, 07 ish, 02 ish is, or 3 starting to come into the book. Now that kind of liquidity here, if they stay in the order book and get filled, I mean, this is kind of bullish activity. We're bearish here until we see something change in the order flow, but they are bidding up before this area of longer term high liquidity, and that is kind of bullish behavior. It is more bullish than if there was no liquidity there, or if there was liquidity below it here on the bid. Okay, it means that they don't want to be buyers in front of this figure of 4,200, and that's what we're reading right now, and we're trying to get a feel for this market. We see a huge 800 stop, or I'm sorry, 1100 stop runs here, to the downside here. So huge stop run right into 42.15 here. So a lot of people getting hurt there, and we see the icebergs here. They're accumulating. Okay, now it's how much has it been? It's been pretty good, not bad. I mean, about 1,840 overall on the cumulative. So we see that larger players are buying, and we assume they're larger players since they want to hide their orders using icebergs. Okay, now we're starting to understand that dynamic, but we're going with the order flow first, and the order flow is telling us that this wants to go lower until we see something different. All right, so, and what that difference is going to look like. We know what it looks like. It's when we start to see exhaustion here, or it trades into this high liquidity here and absorbs it. They absorb all the selling pressure. Then we look for buyers like this to come in on the other side, just like this. Okay, so now we're looking for them to kind of come up and test maybe some of these areas here in structure. So right here at 15, and then there's liquidity coming in here at 20. Now, these kind of areas here we have to be really careful about because we're still bearish here, but you can see that we're testing these structural areas here. Okay, so and looks like it wants to come up and test 20 now, and we need to see it's some pretty good buying coming in here. All right, so yeah, looking for the test 2 here to 20. Now we'll see though, it's already kind of been somewhat, and it's not finished yet. We see a nice cluster of buying up here. Okay, but we need to see if it comes back in the range here and accepts in the range. And if we can get through maybe around here on some heavy selling around this 12 area, we're looking for lower lows, 05 and then 4200. All right, so we're just reading the order flow here. Here's our move into 20. Okay, so that was what we're looking for once we saw these buyers start to come in. Now, this is still, we're still bearish here, right, overall. Okay, the bigger picture here. You know, here's our move, and it looks like they're going to continue. Looks like they're going to go for VWAP, maybe even point of control up here, which I have at 42.35, and VWAP is here around, I can put VWAP on here, okay, at 42.21. All right. Let's see, let me get to any questions off the bat here. Nope. How about Discord? Can we look at gold? Sure. Good morning, Alan. Good morning, Alec. All right. All right, MC Loco and everybody. All right, so yeah, so let's see here. Nice icebergs in here as well. 700 icebergs, 769. Let's take a quick look at gold, and then I also want to go over higher time frame structure. Okay, this is really going to be critical, and we're going to use the same techniques. Maybe we'll go over microstructure to begin with, to be honest. And then we're going to extrapolate that to higher time frame structure and get a feel for really what's going on. Yeah, I think that might be a good idea. We'll jump over to gold really quickly here, and let's take a look. All right, so I've got gold here. All right. Okay, I got some problems with it. No, okay, seems to be fine. Wow, it's got a lot going on in here. I mean, look at them on the bid down here. Okay, same idea, same concepts here. In fact, it's making a higher low here, and it made higher highs here. Kind of a lower high here, and I'm just getting an idea of structure. So it's kind of all over the place. But we're looking to see if we can. We get more buyers in here, and maybe they can bring it back up a little bit higher here. We're seeing the same thing in here. Okay, some buying pressure starting to come in now. Let's just dim this heat map a little bit. It's a little much here. What's going on? Okay, so you can see the heavy selling in here, and this is what we look at here. We look at structure and volume and supply and demand within areas. And here's that point right here. Okay, so we have a structural area here, and selling pressure comes in and moves it away from that structural area and creates a new one here. Right now, we're going to read the structure in here and understand what's going on. And yeah, we can still see some buying pressure coming in, and we're not out of the woods yet. Okay, it's just back up to kind of a high volume node here. And then let's see if maybe a false breakout occurs. That would be looking for sellers below this 97.60 area here, somewhere around here. Okay, and then maybe a move back to 1896 here. Okay. I don't see it. The buying is continued. It's being strong, so maybe it's going to go for 1899 or 1900 up here. All right, so yeah, we don't see those sellers yet, so we're looking though. We're watching here. Okay, so there's a few different scenarios to take a look at here in gold. Okay, so here we are. Let's see if these sellers come in. Not yet. And let's see the move back down to 96, because that's where the liquidity is. Okay, so we're back in the range now. Let's see the move back down. And maybe they can even make it back down to 94 here. Okay, this is another kind of high volume cluster right here at 96.40. Okay, we're already testing that right now. So there's our test. Okay, at 96 as well. Now they got out of the way, you know, and now they're starting to show. Look at the demand come in here, and we see buyers come flying in as well. All right, let's see it. Let's see if so we made it back down to here, and now the order flow. We look at it, and we can see the buyers up here. Okay, and we're back up to this top of this range here. Okay, or not quite to the top of this 98 area here. If we get buyers up here, I'm looking for the breakout up into 1900. Okay, and maybe even higher here, 01, maybe even 04 here. This is a really nice cluster of buying here. We're looking for, yeah, we're looking for it, 1900 here. This is they're trying here. Okay, now if we get a pullback, this is where we're looking for right here. Okay, this volume cluster in here. Okay, there's our 1900. Okay, right there. Let's see if we can continue on up top of the structure here. Lots of buying up here on the hook. Okay, 02 looks like a good area too. I just see the liquidity up here at 04. You see 1910 on the 5-minute chart. Yeah, okay, that's pretty good area too, Alan. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, so far so good. Don't like this up here. I mean, this is strong, consistent buying up here, but see how it kind of waned, and then look at up here, exhaustion, sellers, some sellers here. So, you know, we're looking at some back and forth in here. I think at the moment, unless all of a sudden we get a lot of buyers up here again at 1900, then we're looking for the continuation higher. All right, so that's what I see right now. Let's jump back here. Oh, there's some I want to look at Tesla maybe, and then also was there Twitter? Do you guys want to look at Twitter? I know Tesla was requested. Okay, and we can take a look at Twitter here too. Oh, what is it? There it is. Huh. Okay, I don't know why I'm getting a... All right, I'm going to have to close some symbols here, it looks like. All right. Yeah, I was just looking at CQG in here. And we've connected to CQG for quite a while. The CQG actually has full depth here. Now, they don't have MBO data, but they have full depth for the S&P here, okay, which is EP. from CQG. So just want to let you guys know about that. Okay, here's our Twitter. Yeah, a lot of selling just came in over here. You can see at 9:30. So though this is pretty wicked. We have a lot of people up here pre-market looking for the boost, and they are very trapped in here. Okay, so I wish we could see stops and icebergs in stocks. But yeah, and here's high supply here at 51, so maybe down to 50 where it broke out from before we can maybe see it come back up. How do you see dark pools? It's you need the MBBO data in here, and then you'll see it outside, like large transactions outside of best bid and offer. It could be on best bid and offer. It doesn't matter. But like we saw one with JTrader the other day, or the other month, I guess, or several weeks ago. It was like 1 million shares. It was one transaction, and it was on best bid, or it was on the best offer, I think. But there was nothing in the book. There wasn't 1 million shares in the order book, so it had to be a dark pool transaction. Okay, so yeah, you'll see that over the counter exchanges, you'll need that MBBO data though. That's the only way to get it. All right. So let's see. What about Tesla over here? All right, traded up into 1,000, false breakout, right back into the range here. It's still bullish though, as you guys can see. All right. And again, structure here, okay, or here, maybe even a little bit better. Okay, it's just testing it now. So there's a couple of reasons to look for something around this trend line right here. Okay, there's some structure. I mean, we might come all the way back down here, but I mean, it's not far. It's not. This is where the buyers came in though, and that's what we're looking at here. But we're going to get some buyers off of this area here, and maybe they'll just looking for maybe a bump up here to about 96. So from 92 to about 96 right now. All right. Not looking for much, and I don't know about the probability on that one either. It doesn't look so high, but just looking for a bounce off here, just looking for some buyers here, and just a simple move up to somewhere around here, maybe 95. Okay, just because of the structure. All right, so that's that. Let's jump back to this S&P and see what's going on. All right, so yeah, this turned into a nice little kind of move. We talked about the move potentially back to VWAP. Almost got there, not quite. And then here, this solidifies our structural kind of insights here. Here we go. This is where it broke out from. Okay, and this is where we see new structure. Okay, and there's more buyers here. All right, they're going for VWAP here, and let's see if they can even make it to point of control here. This is some pretty strong buying, so we need to see it continue here. It's looking good though. Getting a pullback already. Okay, pull back to about here. Okay, our little structural area in here, there's actually kind of a few things to look at right there, around 17 and a half. And then let's see if we get buyers back off of that, back up to 23. Looking for them. Let's see if we can get them. Pretty dark in here. And we want to see more supply or more demand at a higher level here. Okay, there's a little bit of buying. All right, buyers, let's see if you can reach back up to 19 or 21. Nope. Okay, all right. Do we get more sellers down here? Alan, you would get MBBO data from, log into bookmap.com/portal, and then you'll see in the add-ons area. All right. So we're seeing these sellers retest this initial move here. And okay, now we get a little bit of buying off of that. All right, I want to go through something in here I think you guys will find helpful. This is part of the educational course, but I really think that this kind of education is, you can apply it to anything, any trading methodology that you use. Suppose you're looking at, candlestick patterns, or even like, let's suppose this is like a reverse head and shoulders. Okay, and you draw in your neckline and all that kind of stuff. It does not matter. What we're looking for is buyers here, lack of buyers down here, or lack of sellers down here. We want to see the order book skew in here, and we're not getting any of this right now. So we're looking for sellers to continue then, okay, down to 09 and through it here. Okay, so let's see. There's tested into 10. Okay, now we're getting some buyers. Okay, there they are. All right, so we got some. All right, nice cluster of buying. Okay, let's see. Now we're looking for them to continue here with this buying. Okay, so now this is, we've got this kind of reversal pattern in here, and we're reading the order flow within it. Okay, we'll likely get a pullback here, maybe to about 13. Okay, and if we get our continued buying, we're going right back up to 20, and then maybe back up to VWAP here. So here's where we're looking at this pattern in here. Okay, starting to note. All right, here's a little bit of buying, bounce off of it. Nope, this is where the pattern was starting to fail here. Okay, we see buying up here, did not continue. We see selling down here. Okay, it traded into 10, and then they started to buy here. This is where we're looking for the continuation at this point. All right, so and it's a beauty here, all the way back to VWAP, and still looking for more here. Okay, there's 30, looking for 35 point of control. Yep, just looking for that, looking for tons of stops up here as well. Strong buying. Let's just zoom out and take a look at this here. Okay, see the strong buying in here? That's what we want insight to. Okay, so here's our move to 35, just about. All right, and then let's put some bigger structure on this here. Starting to understand it. And here's our breakout. Okay, so, and here's our other structural area in here. And looking for it to trade up to probably about here. So 40, and liquidity's up there at 40, which is nice. Okay, that aligns. All right, so let me take a big step back here, and let's take a look. We got a few more guys in here. Hold on a minute. Okay, you want to look at NVIDIA, Pittsburgh T, AMC. Yeah, hold on a minute here. Just want to kind of tidy this up a little bit. Facebook, no one want to look at Facebook, right? Which is fine. Get rid of that. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at this, a quick review here back at the Tesla. As you guys can see, we're looking at this trend line, we're looking at this structure, and it just kind of dipped below the structural line that we drew here, and then the buyers came in here. Okay, now I know that's really easy to read in hindsight, but the buying looks great here. So again, and it came back up to where they dropped it here, but this looks pretty powerful. So I'm looking for more buyers up here at 1,000 and trying to break out into 02 and 03 up here. Okay, so now let's read this though, because they traded into this here, this 1,000, totally absorbed, completely absorbed all of it here. We see 9,261 shares traded up here at 1,000. All right, and they're still up here with 2,500 and shares. So there's still a lot up there. All right, so we got to get through this guy up here. And now he just pulled some. Okay, now it's down to 1,400, 1,500. Okay, see the skew in the transactions, and look at the structure. So this is looking good for breaking out of 1,000 on up to 02 and 03. Okay, so strong consistent buying, but lots of buying up here. Okay, and more buying again here. And now we're looking to see, all right, they're buying, so it still looks good. It still looks, we're going with scenario number 1. We're looking for the move higher here. There it is. Okay, 02, 03. Now let's be careful here and take a look at also the buying in here. It still looks really good. But this is where we really want to see that consistent buying in here, and this is in all markets. Okay, this is just a good example here. However, there's the top weight here, right? This is where the buying is really kind of clustered, and they're continuing to buy though, so we look for continuation. Right, the order flow, we're just looking for continuation here. Just simply reading the order flow, not having a bias in here. Just what is the order flow telling us, and where is the likely path to go next? This is what we do. This is the education here. It's not a trade recommendation whatsoever. This is about reading order flow and being able to apply that to the way that you trade. Okay, so we had a rough day on Friday, it's just really, even though it was a down day and it really picked up later during the webinar. I mean, we had the overall picture, bigger picture. It's going down, momentum. It's going down. Then during the trading session, though, boy, it was kind of dark in these areas in here. You get buyers trapped on one side, no continuation. Sellers come back down. They would get trapped on the other side, come back up again and again and again. And it just was, there was no follow through until later in the webinar. Did we get any follow through? It was kind of tricky to read the order flow. So same concept, same ideas. See how it's top heavy up here. Okay, now it's been consistently buying here. Okay, but we want to see like really consistent buying all the way through. This is when we know traders are moving it away from areas. And here there's potential to get sellers kind of down below some of these areas. Okay, so down below 01 here, or down below this cluster here at 98. If we see sellers down there, okay, and big selling, then this is trapped volume up here. Okay, right now you can see these buyers are completely dominating what's going on in here. Right, so now we're up at 05. Okay, and let's see. Yeah, I don't see any reason why this should stop. It should hit 10, or likely hit 10 here. Okay, it's strong buying, and sellers are just going to get out of the way. Okay, so you know, nice move here in Tesla, yeah, just recapping, we were looking for it to unfold over here. It had to kind of bounce around a little bit, and then we saw the buying coming in here. Well, in hindsight, but then we're looking for that continuation here, right around, well, up to 1,000 and through it, and it's already gone to 108, and we're looking for 110. All right, so that's Tesla. Let's go take a look at AMC. Everything's moving right now, so AMC looks pretty good too. Little tricky. I mean, you know, we can see the volume in here, and you know, this kind of 1685 level here transacted. See the big green dot in there, and look what's above it here. Right, so there's some buying, but it really hasn't followed through yet on that. So this one, yeah, you know, I guess we'd say like likely we're looking for the continuation here. However, if you take a look at this here, it's yeah, it doesn't look as high probability due to the order flow, and here's why. Okay, so we see the big move here, and then we see some nice buying in here. Okay, it's not bad, but what if we get sellers down below this 84, 85 level here? Okay, so then it will be a kind of a false breakout here. And then we'd be looking, and you can see we got some buyers down here at this level. Okay, just coming in here, 28,000 shares down here. Okay, one player, our large lot tracker showing that one player down here. Also here at 77, we have 6,500 shares, so high liquidity there. Okay, and yeah, we're still getting our buyers here though. Okay, and there's, I was about to say 17, there's 17. Again, yeah, I don't like it. I mean, here's why, is the clusters up here. Okay, now we go with the trend until we see something different, but just look for the potential, you know, trading down below this area here and sellers. Okay, but we're looking at these clusters here, and yeah, you know, it still looks like it wants to go to 08 and 25 here, but we want to be very kind of weary of these clusters at the top like this. Okay, likely a pullback here would be in order first. That would be the first move back down into about this 89 level here. They're bidding up here, and they're still we just see buyers here still, but we're looking for some sellers below it here around 95. Okay, and then retest back down here about 89. Okay, maybe a little bit lower. Okay, so understanding these clusters, putting these clusters into perspective here. All right, so looking at lots of stocks in here, and we're going to continue to look at some stocks as well as futures. Okay, let's see if we get our pullback in here. Just back down to 90. S&P must be breaking out too. It is. Okay, it's trending pretty nicely here. Back up here to the figure here, 42.50. All right, more buyers. Hasn't quite traded 42. There it goes. There's 42.50. Now see how that's a stop run here? Okay, this is what we want to watch. Okay, what's the order flow around this event here? So if we get sellers back down below here, we're looking for the move lower. We're not. We're starting to see some buyers still up here. No, not much. Not much actually. Okay, there they go. All right, sellers, let's see you drop it back down. Okay, now that's not a whole lot of selling either, but let's see if we can get to the other side of the range here around 45. All right, sellers right here at 47, and then the drop. So this was the event, okay, and we're trying to read it up here. We saw some buyers and then not really many. We saw some sellers. We're looking for the drop. We're getting it here, and there's our 45. Okay, trading into 45. Okay, so careful here at 45 though. Okay, this is where we saw a lot of buyers starting to come in right in through here. Could go back down here, 42, 43, maybe even 40, but I would imagine we're going to see some buying or some covering here. And if not, we're looking for right down to 40 here. Yeah, it looks like that's the scenario here. Careful here. It's really dark in here, guys. Be careful with some of that. There's our move into 40. And now we should get a bounce out of here. I would imagine this cluster here, this volume, these transactions in here. Okay. Not much. We're not looking for much. We're just a bounce out of here. And let's see it right here. Buyers at 40. No, not yet. No, they're just not showing up. Okay, back to point of control. All right. Anyway, guys, I wanted to get to let's go over the higher time frame here. Okay, I wanted to get to this yeah, I think, like I said, actually, what we'll do is we'll look at the microstructural time frame, and then we're going to extrapolate that to the higher time frame. Okay, this is kind of like our education that we go through, and reading the order flow at this very, very low time frame, like a binary time frame here. Okay, and understanding the order flow here. That's where it can be extrapolated, because I think a lot of meaning is lost when we start to look at bar charts and other charts that are displaying all sorts of different types of data and visualization, whereas what Bookmap is showing here is really simple and really straightforward. This is not some sort of whiz-bang indicator. This is just showing you pure market activity, right? We're looking at just 3 elements here on this chart, and you're just looking at best bid and offer, streaming over time. There's no bar data here. Okay, there's no aggregation of data. It's pure price action, right? That confuses a lot of traders right off the bat if they're new to Bookmap. Okay, and here's what I mean. here's a candlestick chart, and this is is it a 5 minute? Yeah, we can look at a minute candlestick chart. Oh, it is a 1 minute. Okay. Every minute you're only getting 4 data points here: open, high, low, and close, and you don't see any of the price action between it. None whatsoever. You're just looking at a bar of aggregated data, and then it's closed off whenever that period ends. Okay, here you're getting a real feel for the price action, okay, just with best bid and offer. Okay, and that's very, very simple data. I can just demo this here. Sorry guys, I need to go through this point. But understanding these market mechanics, once you understand this will change everything. It did for me, at least, put it that way. Okay, in my opinion, like, because we've all studied just about everything, from Elliott wave to candlesticks to patterns to market profile, volume profile, to whatever it might be. Like, we've looked at it. We've all looked at it. All of the indicators, millions or hundreds of them, putting together different trading plans, etc. When you all boil it down, though, this is understanding what moves the market and then applying it to some of those other concepts. For me, it was a kind of revelation. It's like, oh, that's how the market works. Okay. And then what it did was open up. Now I can understand candlesticks in a very, very different light. Like, look at this made a new low here. All right. Do we get buyers up here? No. All right. Looking for continuation. And this candlestick pattern, keep on going down to 25. Right. Just reading the candles in here, but read the volume and read the order flow. Okay, such a simple thing. And this is what it looks like if you don't have this. Okay, so you don't have the heat map here. You don't have the volume here. Okay, or let's say you don't even have best bid and offer. You don't even have that. You're just looking at candlesticks. And trying to read and understand really what's going on in the market by looking at this, and then understanding and reading in a book about or following somebody that talks about candles and like, oh yeah, all you need to do is like buy when it comes up above here and closes above it. It just sounds insane to me. Well, okay, if that's the candlestick that or pattern that you're looking for a potential reversal, okay, but let's confirm it. We'll confirm it with the order flow, and this is where the order flow will really be helpful here. Okay, so here come some buyers. They're going to retest this area right here at 32. Okay, so let's see if they go for it here, top of the range. Now the question is, though, do we get lots of buying pressure in here and see them pulling here at 32? All right, do we get more buying? Is there more demand underneath here? Not really. So it might pull back here to 29. So we're almost at 32. Okay, basically it did it. It's the concept is up in this range up here. Okay, and now we're not seeing a lot of buyers underneath, so we're looking for a pullback here to 29. Okay, and look at the offer here. So all it did was retest up here. Okay, so now do we get a lot of buyers up here? Not really, right? All right, now are we getting sellers down here, and then we're looking for a test to the other side here, back down to 27, because this is where we see these wicks of buying here. Well, let's see if the sellers can test this area again. Right now they're not. Now we're back up here. Now we're seeing, look at the bid. Do we get buyers here? Yep. All right, let's see them break out to 33. And there we go, 33, 34. Okay, back to point of control. Okay, so just understanding these elements here in the chart, it will open up everything here, not just candles. We can look at patterns here. Here's our reverse head and shoulders. Okay, or if you want to simplify it, look at a trend line break. And it's the same concept. Whoops. Okay, so array. Okay, here's our trend line break. Here's our structure. Here's a structural break here. And then look at the volume here. Great. All right, well, that looks like the reversal pattern. Okay, now this is actually one of the patterns we look at. Does it continue? We got leg 1, leg 2 has failed here. Okay, so likely a retest back down to 31. Okay, and we may even get a break of 31 here if we get enough sellers. All right, so and then, you know, probably back down to 28, or, you know, continuation of this downtrend. Okay, back down to the lows here, 27. All right, does that make sense for you guys? Do you understand, like, how we're reading or putting this together with different trading plans? Okay, so now this worked out really nicely, you know, for this move here, and these other moves we're looking at. Okay, I'm so bad. Just if you guys can give me some feedback here, like, is this too simplified? You know, or is this you know, too? I mean, I think the simpler the better. Okay, it's you've digested it. Yeah, I mean, it's hey Dove, how are you? Nice to see you in here. Okay, helpful. Simplicity is key. Thanks, guys. Okay, yeah, it's and we're just looking at candles in this time frame here. This is why I want to extrapolate it to much higher time frames. Okay, because it's the same stuff. It really, it just doesn't matter. It's still all different. Orders is what moves the market. Without orders, there is no market. Okay, so anyway, that's going over some candles and starting to understand, like, rejection, areas, ranges, etc. Okay, now look at the funny stream of buying coming right back in here. All right, now we're looking for, see, now our leg 2 here, we didn't get it here, we got it here though, and we're getting leg 3 now here. Okay, and we're getting continuation, so looking for 40. Okay, let's see if we can break out from 40. Did 40 liquidity trade? Yeah, it did. All right, so maybe a pullback now. Okay, back down to here, 36. Okay, there's our pullback to 36. Now let's see, are they going to buy off of here? Does it need to go a little bit lower here, back to maybe 34 to find buyers? Okay, let's take a look. We don't even have best bid and offer up here. Okay, there we go. All right, yeah, okay, we're finding some buyers, come back up to, let's see if they can maybe reach back up to this kind of, this volume cluster up here at 39 and 3/4 is where the liquidity is. Okay, I like it. The buying looks good here. There we go. Beautiful. All right, so we're getting continuation. Okay, we got the breakout, we got the pullback, we got the continuation, just by reading the order flow in here on this very small time frame. But this here, and yeah, let's see if we get a failure of this here now. Lots of sellers in here, and let's see if we can get a move back down. 35, and tons of selling down here at 35. Let's see, and then we're looking for a break of this now. Okay, so yeah, it's breaking this trend line. So this move looks like it might be over. Okay, there we go. All right, sellers, let's see a move back down to 30 to 30, 31, somewhere around here. I like 32 actually. The liquidity is down at 30, but I like 32, this structural area here, where we saw this kind of reverse head and shoulders work. Okay, we're down below 32 already. It just tested here, 31. Still, let's see if they can take it lower here. 32, or 30, I'm sorry. That's where the liquidity is. All right. So anyway, as you guys can see, reading these structural areas, or just reading what moves price here. And it's very, very simple. It's the aggressor. The aggressor moves price, and here it is demonstrated. Okay, so we see buyers come in, and we can, this is where we can really, and this is truly microstructure. Okay, this is the proper definition of microstructure when you're starting to look at these time frames here. We're down at microsecond levels here, and we're seeing every single transaction. And where are the transactions taking place? It's what do you guys think? Where are the transactions taking place here? Sorry guys, in YouTube there, I'm getting to your questions. I will answer David and others here. Yep, about exhaustion, etc. No problem. Yeah, just ask exactly. Oh, that was the answer. Yeah, exactly. It's transacting here on the ask. Okay, and these are buyers here, of course, aggressive buyers. Now let's look at the liquidity here. All right, so we have a 23 here in the order book. Okay, 18 has transacted here so far, and we can really zoom into these areas here and look at nanosecond level. All right, so still transacting. All right, great. All right, so now there's 3 contracts left. All we need is 4 more market buys, and if we get that, we're going to move up here, and it's going to transact, and it's going to take 1 off of this 29 on the offer here, these limit sell orders up here. Okay, so it'll be 28, and we'll see a green dot up here of 1 if that scenario plays out. Okay, all right, so what happened here? Okay, so what happened was they pulled that liquidity in here. Let's just zoom in. So we see 3, they pulled. Okay, now we're up here. So the next level, these 3 are gone. So now we're up here. Okay, best offer, 29 up here. Okay, best bid followed up. See, look at how the spread widened out here. Okay, and then best bid followed up. All right, now let's see where the next transaction takes place. So right now, the last transaction was here at 32.25. And we're looking to see what might move price. Now, if a seller comes in here and hits the bid, okay, and we see a red dot here, price didn't move, but it's a seller now. And this is where you'll see this in your dome as well, the different colors, like in your dome. But we address this actually with when you see, sometimes you see this white number here in front. I can demo that for you guys. If you guys have questions about that, the aggregate of the last trade. Okay, so we're actually seeing 26 trade here, and let's just see if we get one on the offer. Yeah, okay. See how it went to 27, 30, I'm sorry, 30, 31, 32. Okay, here's why. It says 32 here in white because this is the aggregate. At this price level, this is what is traded, but the last one here is a cluster of 6 cells. Okay, so 34 here for this viewable range right now, all of this buying in here, 34 equals 34 because it's all buying. But now at the same price level, okay, best bid and offer changed, and now we see sellers, but price has not changed yet. And now if we get a seller down here, it will. Okay, no, we don't. We get a buyer here. Okay, now it aggregates again here, and it shows now it's 33, and it shows 1 here. Last one was for 1 contract. Okay, now what I want to get to is understanding these transactions, and this is just back and forth right now. Okay, here we see price move though. Okay, so now 43 And this is like one of the simplest volume profiles, distribution you'll see. One level here. There's nothing at the edges here at all. There's no market for it right now. No one's interested. Okay, there's liquidity there, but no one's trading it until best offers up here. Okay, best offer, bid and offer, they're pulling and adding liquidity around, and then it starts to transact up here. Okay, we had one more transaction here on the bid, okay, of 1, and then someone came in with aggressive market buy of 9 here, okay, and they moved price. Price finally moved after all of this here, and we're only talking about 30 microseconds or so within here. Okay, so millions of seconds basically. All right, now price moved, okay, and now it's transacting up here. So aggressors moved price. Once this happened up here, price moved. That we're going to extrapolate to much higher time frames. Oh man, and we're missing this beautiful move to the downside, the bigger picture move. Yeah, well, we're looking for it, that potential move here, and then the sellers down below this area. So, and still looking for it, looking for them to trade into 15 and down here. But the point I want to get at here is now we're starting to look at, let's try to find a micro range in here, okay, of current price action might be a little more helpful. This range in here and all these transactions in here is the same concept. Okay, it's within a range here, and then where's the volume trading within this range? Okay, well, we can look at our profiles here, we can look at the dots, we can look at the bars, etc. But within this range here, we're trying to get some insight. Okay, and we're going to dim the heat map for right now. Okay, we're just going to look at the volume trading in here. And we see sellers, buyers come right back in. Okay, so we're not getting too much out of that. We come back down here. We don't see many sellers at all. In fact, let's go over that concept of exhaustion. Now, exhaustion is basically when we don't have any sellers down here at all. Now, so there wouldn't be any red dots down here. It tested down here, and there's nobody. And it trades back into the range. Okay, and the range in this case on this micro structural level here, the range is right here at 2150. This is the range. Okay, this is the high volume profile or high volume node here. And then you can see though, like buyers come in and they lift it. They lift the offer. All right, so now what about lifting it back up into this previous range up here? Okay, it looks pretty good if we can get more buyers up here. Right, so let's just suppose this answers the question. Sorry, we'll look for a better example of exhaustion. We'll see it. We see it all the time. I mean, here's some exhaustion up here. Okay, I mean, best offer, nothing trades up there, and then look, see how these buyers here are kind of trapped. They're buying up here. They can't lift it. Sellers come in. They lower it here, and then once they start to get down in these lower areas here, this is where we're looking for them to move it. And see how they're transacting down here in this little range, okay? But these guys are now trapped. This is kind of trapped down here when these buyers come in and start to move it away. All right, so now what about up here? And it tried multiple times to find buyers up here, and it can't even make it up to here. It got some buying in here. Look at the sellers on the other side. All right, I'm looking for the sellers to trade here at 21.75. If they get enough sellers there, we're looking for a drop and then potentially maybe even a break. Okay, the drop would be down to here initially, just a couple ticks, of course, but this is where I'm going to get. We're talking about structure now. We went from what moves the market, and now we're talking about structure. Right? So, did we get the sellers down here? No, we didn't. Okay, we come back up again, and we're getting buyers at these higher levels here. Okay, so we never got our sellers down here that we're looking for. This looked pretty good. We needed to see the sellers down here, and then we're looking for the move back to trade back down here. Now we're still looking at some of these areas in here, okay, but we're getting more buyers up here, again more buyers up here, and a breakout. Here's our lack of buyers or sellers here, and more buyers here. Great, it should continue, and it does. It goes up here. All right, now this is where we're watching sellers down here, more sellers down here. If we retest down here with sellers, looking for the move lower, bottom of the range here. Okay, they're selling. There's some buying though too. And this gets in the way. That's why I turn this off, that aggregate, the white number. All right, we didn't get our sellers down here. Buyers trying to take it away. Okay, but if we get sellers back down here below 22.5, I'm looking for it. Okay, no, we're getting more buyers. All right. Okay, now we're back down here. Now do we get sellers down here? Yes. Let's see them move it. And back and forth, back and forth. Nope, not yet. Have to retest this area again. In fact, we got buyers back up here. All right, here we go. Now you can this is foreshadowing here. It's telling us, and that now look at the sellers come in. Okay, and we know that, we can see it here. All right, this looks good though. They're going to pull it away from this whole area here. And they actually got trapped. Interesting. All right, does not matter. Here in this cluster here, they came down to this 2150. Was it 2150 we're looking at earlier? Down here. That's where they came to. So, and they tested that area here. Okay. Now they had this is where they have the potential to move it away, because that's a lot of selling, and it's a stop run too. Okay. And this is tricky in here because they're upended, and once the buyers get back up, and look at the retests here. See how they just retest the top of this range here. Okay, and then come back up. All right, now we don't get buyers up here. We see more sellers. All right, let's see if we get more sellers, likely around here, around 23.5. Let's see if we get them. Okay, I don't see buyers here. Okay, it's looking good. Sellers, okay. Let's see if we can get our sellers back down into the bottom of the range in here. Okay, back up. Sellers, do we get, there's some. See how it's auctioning down here? Now, are they on the hook or did they follow through? Yeah, it looks like they're potentially on the hook, but they're auctioning here. That's where we're looking for our sellers here at 23.25. All right, starting to get some. It's not really, this isn't the clearest example in here, but they're starting to nibble away. So we can get down to here to 21.5. Here they come. There's our move, 21. Okay, and now let's just zoom out a little bit more in our range. Okay, so now we're starting to get in our bigger picture here in our range. We're starting to see some selling down here. All right, so if we get more sellers down here, we're looking for the break. And we don't. Do we get them back down here again? Let's see. Looking for it. Sellers, okay. There they go. Anyway, you can start to understand the volume within these areas, and then now sellers here, sellers at a lower area here. We have our context in here as well. Look at the exhaustion up here. This little buying cluster, not bad, totally fails though, And then look at the sellers come in on the other side. More sellers here as well. So we're still looking for continuation. And it follows through. Okay, pretty nicely there. All right, now that understanding of within this range in here and starting to understand where this volume is trading and transacting. Okay, and we're just talking about volume right now. Okay, we don't have the other context of who's on the other side of the trade. But what I want to get to is extrapolating that to even your monthly chart, your daily chart, your hourly chart, your 15-minute chart. Okay, that binary, and we started from understanding at the lowest level here what makes price move, and then started to zoom out and look at structure. Okay, market structure, and where's the volume trading within the reference of that structure. Okay, and then once we have the heat map too, we really get a lot of insight. All right, well, is there a lot of people on the bid here? No, there wasn't. Okay, well, are they on the offer up here, and do they take these guys on? No. Okay. Here's on the bid a little bit. All right, so now we're getting some insight here. They're on the bid here, but sellers are going after them. And now they're starting to pull. All right, well, then we're looking for sellers to drop it down to 21. Okay, and then down to 20. They want this liquidity. And there they go. Okay, so and then they trade into it, but they can't. They didn't get through it. We see buyers come in on the other side. Okay, so we're looking for this cluster here to test first, and then maybe the bottom of the structure here, where sellers kind of took control of it. And you can see we didn't get quite up there, and then we get this exhaustion here. Okay, more exhaustion, that little cluster up here, and then our sellers come in and they hammer it. Back and forth, kind of tricky in here. There was some really, came back up and retested these guys one more time. All right, so anyway, now that extrapolated to this. And we can look at our daily chart here. Okay, so two big red candles from Thursday and Friday last week, and we're getting continuation. And we would be looking for continuation here. And there's a lot of momentum. And where are they going to go? Well, they're going to go back down to where there's buyers here. This is where this move took place, and we see the wicks and the buying here. Okay, it's starting to slow down a little bit. Okay, the day is young. However, let's see if we can get back down today into some of these levels here, and that we can now start to even move some of our lines here. Boy, I hate to move some of these lines, but I'm going to do it. Okay, so back down into here, maybe even here. Let's just draw it up. Okay, 42.51. No, I'm looking for this kind of area in here. 41.82 down to 41.30. So kind of 50-point range down here. Right. So now what about in here? All right. Well, here's our gap, and then you see the move back down below the gap, retest all the way back up here on the hour chart, and now we're back down. All right, well, if we get sellers back down here, a lot of selling, we're looking for the continuation. Okay, and now what about the 15-minute chart? Okay, so same ideas, same concepts, understanding in here ranges, and look at this range. It's a 2-bar range. Well, we can look at this range in here on the 15-minute. That's fine. Okay, and look at the range in here. I mean, it's pretty clear. I mean, sellers, okay, buyers retest all the way back up here, and then sellers come in again. Look at the wicks in here and the continuation. Now, this is where those buyers came in earlier, right here. Okay, this is at 42.10. Okay, so we're looking to see if we can get a lot of volume here on the sell side around 42.10 or so. Exhaustion on the buy side, and then looking for the continuation below and below this 42.07 and potentially down into this range down here. Okay, on the daily. All right, so we're looking to see if we can get back down in here. Okay, so 42.10 down to 42.07. All right, so same ideas, and on the high time frame, and then into Bookmap on the low time frame. And we're going to read the order flow to go in line with that. So it's actually already traded down to this 42.10, as you guys can see. Okay, and there's tons of liquidity down there, and it makes good sense that there's liquidity down here, just by looking at our higher time frame range there. Okay, and then now look at the move away from this area. This is that trap volume we just talked about here. Okay, and it's also a stop run here, and this is where we're getting our back and forth in here. Like they came back down and kind of retested here where that selling cluster is, right at around 11 and a quarter or so. Okay, and then look at the this is where they're moving it away, where buyers came back in on the top of the range here. There's some up here. I don't like it. In fact, I'd be looking for the continuation to happen here again, at least a retest back down to 11 with this selling here. It didn't follow through. Okay, instead, what do we get here? This is where the order book comes in and is helpful. Okay, they're pulling here. They transacted here at 20. Okay, but they don't want to be sellers here, except for at 20. Okay, they want to be buyers here, and the reaction to this buying in here on the bid and bidding up at these areas here was more aggressive buyers. And there's our context. Okay, so we're reading the order flow here. Okay, now again, look at the context here at 20. We know this transaction that took place here. What if we get sellers below it here? Okay, looking for them to continue on down to 14. Okay, where they broke out from down here. And then continuation. We got to get back down into 12, and then we got to go through 10 to get to our 07 level. Okay, now I don't see much down here at 07, so we're lining again the heat map in here. Okay, they're down at 02 and 4200. All right, so let's see if we get enough selling to trade back down into those levels, and we don't see it yet. Now they've traded. Now this is kind of a on this time frame, this is an important level right here. Okay, this 42.20 transactions taking place there, buyers above it, sellers below it. Okay, it's the under over line in here. Looking for more sellers right here right now, and let's see if we can get down to our 14 level. Okay, and now look, what did they do down at 14? They pulled that liquidity. So they don't want to be buyers here. So let's see if sellers can even drop it further. Okay, just reading the order flow in here. See how it's dark in here? See how it's down now? We're coming back down to 10. And we just went through this whole process of reading small time frame and understanding what moves the market. At market mechanics, and then we extrapolated that to a smaller micro range, and then we extrapolated that to our much higher time frame. Okay, and here we are, and here's the move. Okay, and this was the anticipated move back down into this 07 low, but then the help here with Bookmap, we're already at 07. Okay, and we're probably going to get a reaction there due to that swing, but the liquidity is down lower. They're down here. So if these sellers want to meet the buyers, they're down here. All right. let's see, let me get back to these questions in here, but does this make sense to you guys? And what I think what's important here is once, I think, like I mentioned earlier, once that you at least for me, like I kind of put aside like what you've learned before, and then understand what moves price. It will free your mind to just to do any strategy. If you want to trade CVD, read the order flow, match the CVD reading with the order flow. You want to trade MACD crossovers, one of the most, I mean, it's the poster boy for indicators, or like RSI or something like that, or stochastics. Read the order flow and then match it with your indicator, okay, and your price structure. Okay, and you will see a completely different result, I think. You know, I mean, it can only help. You'll understand what's behind the moves here. All right. Let's see, Rob, is there any way to draw linear regression channels in Bookmap? No. Yeah, we don't. You know, all these kinds of indicators. Heat Nation. Yeah, the stream is full, but you can jump over to YouTube. Just go to our YouTube channel. You'll see it streaming there. You just do a search for Bookmap. You can go to bookmap.com/YouTube, and that will redirect you. All right. Okay, we got a little bit of buying here, and a little bit of a false breakdown so far. So we're back up above 10 here, and finding some buyers here, still fighting it. Okay, but the move that we were looking for followed through, or didn't follow through. It made it though. Yeah, it followed through. It actually did break the low here very slightly. We're looking at 07, and it did that. Okay, now we're still bearish here on our higher time frame and looking for the move back down to this kind of 4180. Okay, but you can see the buying pressure starting to come in on that 15-minute right now. Okay, well, we might find more buying pressure. The order flow might, you know, change here completely. It might flip. We might find tons of buyers in here. Then we're looking for a move back up here, at least on this 15-minute chart, and test this kind of 24 area, 25 area. All right, so that's the concept here. Okay, by reading the structure in here. So here, look at the buyers come in. All right, now let's see the move back up here to 25. Let's verify it though. All right, so yeah, not bad. Okay, we're back up into this area where that 20 level though is important. So likely get a pullback, okay, back to here, 15. Okay, because we know that 20 area is important from our previous analysis here. All right, and then let's see if we get back up here and see more buying, and then let's see if we can get follow through above 20. Okay, no support here on the bid. Okay, they're down here at 15. We're still finding some buyers in here. All right, here they come. All right, let's see it. I don't like it. It's dark in here. Sellers can move it right back down here. Okay, but more buying is in here, so we're looking for, you know, the move higher basically. We just don't have all the pieces yet. Okay, so it's less likely. Look out for the trap. Okay, and the move back down below here. So it's a higher probability trade. you look for these pieces to align in the order flow, and that'll keep you out of so many bad trades. Okay, there's buying pressure in here. There's no doubt about that. But they're not really showing on the bid here. Okay, that not clamoring about this move. That's what the market is telling us. That's what the order flow is telling us. All right, let's see if we get buyers here and the bid here. Let's see. I want to see that bid light up. It's not. Likely the move is still higher, but like we just don't have all the pieces. All right, let me get back to some of these questions here. Okay, David, I think I went through the exhaustion for you several times, but that's a really important. I'm glad you asked. It's just really important. Can I show examples of when price move up or down, but at the same time Bookmap didn't register any transactions? Well, yeah, I mean, just that's pulled liquidity basically, and the bid and the offer are wildly swinging back and forth, and yeah, you'll probably see it on much thinner markets or maybe some stocks. Let's look at gold here. Yeah, I mean, you can see some of the, here, like in here, like there's no transactions, and they're pulling, and you can see the spread in here, etc. See how the heat map captures the pulling as well. Can you just take the levels? Not sure what you mean. What's the difference between exhaustion and rejection? Well, rejection is just meaning that price came up to an area, and it didn't accept, sellers came in and moved it away. Now that's how you get your wicks. Okay, so and that's how you find like who's in control. Like up in here in gold, see how this little area right here is kind of key. This cluster, this transaction, it's actually even a little bit higher here. It's this kind of swing in here where buyers, lack of buying, buyers on the hook here, okay, and the sellers take it away. All right, so now this would be like a false breakout, but this area rejected when sellers came in and moved it away. All right, so that's not, it can be exhaustion, but likely it's trading up there, and it didn't accept. Okay, if you talk about like TPOs with market profile, that's your low volume node, where price rejects, or it with market profile, it's it's the time that it accepted up into an area. Typically, if it accepts up in an area for a while, it means that it wants to trade up in that area. It's found value. But if it trades very briefly up in that area and then trades away back into the range, that's rejection. Okay, it does not, price is not really accepting up there. No one wants to trade up there. Okay, and that's rejection. Okay, exhaustion it would be likely a part of it. You'll see the exhaustion on the buy side. Okay, in this case, you don't. I mean, you do see it up here a little bit. Okay, there's just nothing trading up there, not much. At the very, very top, actually the trading looks pretty good in here, but here you can see the trap, and where it's just kind of moves away pretty quickly here. And look where it went. This is why these markets are, they're fractal. It happens on all time frames. So, and then you can also extrapolate this into your patterns like head and shoulders. This is exactly what happens in your head and shoulders. In fact, you see liquidity here filled, and then it comes back down, and then it pulls away here. And this is pretty typical. And you even see on the offer here, look what happened in here. Sellers come in and they come in on the offer, okay, at a lower level here. Okay, they're kind of holding it or trapping it below 1900, the figure here. Okay, and that's how you can get caught up in these traps. Okay, and there's your rejection. Right, and that's going to be obviously a long wick on your gold chart, on your 15-minute or whatever, 5-minute. All right, let's see our S&P here. Yeah, interesting move. All the way back up again. Okay, so we were looking for that drop. We got it down to our level. Okay, that we covered here, and here we're looking for the movement back down and to see it down here and see if we get continuation, and we didn't. Then we saw the buyers come in, and what did we say? We said 24, 25, right in here. Okay, we've already spiked through it, and we're back below it now. Okay, so here again is rejection up here. We're still finding, like, a lack of a market up here, right? So now I'll pose the question. So if you have a lack of a market up here, where do you think it's going to go? Okay, in an auction, in any auction, farmer's market for potatoes, where's the market going to go? What do you guys think? Well, more than down. That's the right answer as well. Oh, okay, Dove, you want to see my stop on chart settings? Sure. Fair price, exactly. Stock Brock, where the most value or volume traded. Exactly, spot on. Where it can transact, where there is a market for it. That's what we're looking for it to trade back into where it can trade, right? Because it rejected up here. We found buyers initially, okay, and it rejected down here too, because we found buyers down here, right? And then it rejected up here. Now the question is, are we getting enough sellers in here to try and retest back down here again? Not yet. It's just trading back down into here, and that's it. Okay, but then we'll look at Bookmap here. All right, so it's back down in here. Let's take a look at the order flow. Okay, are we getting our sellers down in here? Well, and this is where just Bookmap is it's just showing everything. Here, look at the sellers trade into this and through this area here. Okay, and look at all this volume in here and up in here. Okay, really understanding this dynamic in here is just going to be so helpful. Okay, and then we're getting more sellers down here. All right, well then let's get back to 10. So I'm seeing selling pressure in here. I'm looking for 10 and back to this area here. And if we get more sellers, we're looking for a break. Okay, and then now we're looking for a break if we get more sellers down in here. Okay, it doesn't reject. Okay, we're looking for follow through on the sell side. We've tested it a few times, and now we're looking for see if we get follow through. And why are we looking for follow through here on this time on all of these time frames in here. So we're looking for follow through. Yeah, momentum's to the downside. Exactly. I'm so bad. Bigger picture, momentum's to the downside. The pressure is to the downside. And this is, again, like understanding like what the market thinks of this. Like it doesn't matter like what the fundamentals are. Now the fundamentals are very much in line with this move. And I know a lot of you guys look at the fundamentals and then look at the order flow to align with it. It's a great strategy, right? But basically the market is telling us like there's a lot of selling pressure in here. So we've tested this place a few times, and now we're looking for follow through to the downside. Now we just made a lower low, and it's bouncing here. We're still fight. The buyers are still fighting it in here. Okay, so let's see it. Okay, so boy, it looks pretty bearish to me. Here's 10. Here's below. We were looking at this liquidity. They were at 05 earlier, right? Yeah. They were at 05. We had to do all of this back and forth, and we're still looking for the move into this lower liquidity here. 03. Now they're showing here, they were showing at 02 or so, or 01, somewhere around here. They moved it up, as you guys can see. Okay, but they're still down here at 4,200 the figure. All right, so we're looking for kind of retest back down into those areas. Okay, sellers in control, moving it and moving lower here. Thanks, Doug. You're giving some good insight here. I don't have SPY up, so I cannot verify that. But you're saying third test of SPY at 420. Excellent. You know, we have had Doug on a few times. He looks at some of the. He's trading the futures and stocks, a lot of stocks. Now, guys, look, see the buying coming in here. And look at the selling in here, right? So potentially upended here. Okay, another maybe a retest back up to here around 15, maybe our 20 level. We know that level is kind of important. Okay, now do we get our follow through here? Let's take a look. Yeah, I mean sellers they're on the bid. They're on the bid here. All right, so kind of inching higher here. Okay, we're already at 15. Okay, and that was the swing up here. Okay, and let's see if they can move it to 20. Now 20 would be breaking that structure here. All right, so we want to be careful about that. And we also want to go through the next scenario here. So a lot of buying pressure coming in, tons. This is not a low volume pullback. Okay, this is high volume. Right now, so there's a battle going on here, but if we get down below 10 on the sell side, look for 4,200 the figure. All right, so again, like if we're getting see the wick and the rejection here, or some rejection here so far at least. Okay, back into what? High volume node. All right, so yeah, in fact, so yeah, they're going to go for 20, it looks like. Okay, see how all of this aligns. It all aligns pretty nicely. We're looking at our levels here. We're understanding what makes the market move and extrapolating it to the higher time frame. Okay, let me show the stops and icebergs in here on chart for Dove and his friend. So this is what I have here. I use the automatic threshold, individual threshold, 60 minutes with just multiplier of 1 right now. That's a little much for me. I'd probably move that multiplier up a bit more. Okay, so I have less readings in here. I don't need to see all of these. Anyway, All right, guys. Well, let's wrap it up. Thanks for coming, everybody. Tom B is next, so he'll continue the analysis here. It's on Discord, so join his room over there, and he's going to be going through a volume profile and how he trades the markets. Right. So here we're going through kind of more foundational order flow, and then extrapolating understanding of that to any trading style. Right. So yep, we'll see you guys tomorrow for the advanced webinar. Tom B will be up next over in our Discord channel. Thanks, guys. Yeah, take care. Bye bye.